Hey, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kristen. I talk about everything self-care for your mind and your body. And if you are not new here, you know I love the work of Byron Katie. And if you are new here, maybe you love the work of Byron Katie as well. Maybe that's how you found this video. But either way, welcome. I wanted to break down a personal thought I had through the work. I feel like it's a relatable belief right now with everything going on in the world. But if you are interested in the work or can relate to the work, please let me know in the comments, how you found the video, what kind of content you're looking to see, and be sure to like and subscribe to the video if it's something you're interested in and you want to see more of. So to get into it, the thought I wanted to question with you guys today is I'm going to get sick. As things open up and people start seeing each other again, there can be more fear around actually getting sick because we're going to be exposed to more people or more events, or we're going back to work or whatever it is. And maybe you're having the belief that you're going to get sick with all this extra exposure to people, etc. So let's break it down with the 4 questions and the turnarounds, and let's get going. So the thought I'm going to get sick. The first question of the work is it true? This one was a little hard for me because I can't know if something in the future is going to happen, but that belief is where that fear comes from. So the belief that it is going to happen is where the fear comes from. So for this, I'm going to say yes, because my mind is showing me stories of the past where I have gotten sick, or stories of the future where I'm going to get sick from, any host of things, because sickness can be a part of life sometimes. So I'm going to say yes. The second question is, can you absolutely know it's true? And I really can't. So that one was pretty easy for me to get to. I almost got to it before the first question, just because I can't know for sure if I'm gonna get sick from, a short-term disease or a long-term disease or an illness or a virus or a cold or whatever it is. I cannot know that I'm gonna get sick. So that is no, I cannot absolutely know it's true. The third question is, how do I react when I believe the thought? And this question I sat in for a really long time, because there's a couple different aspects of how you react that you can approach. You can approach it psychologically, you can approach it mentally, physically, emotionally, relationally, how you treat others, how you treat yourself when you're believing a thought. And for this, I just saw so many ways that this thought was impacting my life. So first, it would stop me from seeing any people, from seeing any loved ones, from seeing any family members. The thought that I'm going to get sick would just cause me to isolate. And if you know anything about how relational we are as human beings, one of the best predictors of a long life is having a community that you're engaged in, that you trust, that you love. It can really make a difference in your quality of life and also your longevity of life, which says to me your health, your long-term health. Just having those relationships and the family and people around you can just do wonders, at least in my life, and hopefully for your health and longevity. So that would separate me from not believing that thought. Also, I look at my behaviors when I'm believing the thought I'm going to get sick. If I have anxiety, or I don't breathe deeply because I'm panicked and my breath is up here and I'm not doing deep breaths and really getting the benefits of having oxygen in your body, that can weaken my immune system. Also, I notice that when I'm believing this thought and being very anxious and afraid, I'll eat more comfort foods, more junk foods, more inflammatory foods that can wreak havoc on my health, my body, my digestion. My gut flora is not going to be working, which can lower my serotonin levels. It can lower my dopamine. It can give me an overall feeling of anxiety or depression, and just not fueling myself with the right foods can physically leave me more susceptible to illness and more unable to fight that illness off. So if you notice the pattern of how I react when I believe the thought, these are all things that are compounding to actually weaken my immune system and make me more susceptible to being sick. So it's really important to notice if you're believing the thoughts. Also notice if the way you are reacting to those thoughts is actually bringing the thing you fear about quicker. So all these behaviors that could lower my immune system can actually make me sick. And then I'll look back and say, I knew I was going to get sick. It was a self-fulfilling prophecy because of how I react when I believe that thought. So what else I could do, I might drink more. I might not sleep as well because I'm stressing over getting sick, or there's an event coming up, or I have to go to work and I am stressed about it, so I'm not sleeping. And then I drink more coffee the next day. And the coffee is a drug, guys. I drink coffee, absolutely, but it does change your ability. It's an appetite suppressant. So it changes your ability to kind of sense for yourself how much food you need, what nourishment you need. And I notice that the more I drink coffee, the more I can have those crashes. And part of it is the caffeine, but part of it is also not listening to my body for what foods it needs and not being in a relaxed state to tell myself, these are the healthy foods you can eat. These are the healthy foods you do want. I'd be stressing, reaching for sugar or those quick fixes, which goes back to the junk food. So, not getting sleep could lower my immune system. Drinking more caffeine, in excess can lower my immune system if I'm also pairing it with unhealthy eating. So all these behaviors kind of compound to show me how I react when I'm believing that thought. And I'll leave it at that because I feel like you can sit in each of these questions for 25 minutes, for 2 hours, for 2 days. You can sit as long as you want. And I definitely sat for a long time in this one because I like to notice how I'm living out of certain beliefs. So I certainly have beliefs still in my life, and I don't think having beliefs is necessarily a negative thing, but noticing how you react when you're believing them in every area of your life can be really impactful for just your awareness. And when you're aware of something, you can change it if you want. If you're not aware, it can be harder. So the fourth question, who would I be without the thought? Now, I know some people struggle with this question because it's kind of, how do I know who I would be without this thought? I have the thought, I believe the thought, which I totally get. So a little tip I use is to notice how I behave when I'm not thinking about it, or when I'm not stressed, or when I am in a relaxed state. I'm able to sleep better. I am able to pick healthy foods that nourish my body instead of junk foods that I'm chasing that energy spike. I don't drink as much caffeine. I don't feel, because I'm well rested, and I drink a lot of water, and I learn to take care of myself better when I'm not stressing over getting sick, which can actually boost my immune system. And then when I am not afraid, or I'm not believing these fearful thoughts, I'm not living in that anxiety, I can educate myself. I can look at, okay, how do I best protect myself? What healthy behaviors can I take on that are actually going to keep me healthy instead of make me sick? And I can notice in that moment that I am healthy, and I can be grateful for that health instead of being afraid of being sick. I can be grateful for the health I do have, and I can start practicing behaviors or modifications to my daily life where I can still work, where I can still see people safely, where I can engage in life without retreating and being afraid. So without that fear, I can look at the education coming out on, anything I might be afraid of, the illnesses, how to best protect myself. And my behaviors can follow a healthier pattern, which of course, if my immune system's better, if I'm healthier, it doesn't mean I will never get sick, but I certainly want to have a strong immune system. I want to be in a relaxed state if I ever did get sick. So a point I want to make is not being afraid of something, saying it's not necessarily true that I'm going to get sick. Doesn't mean I won't get sick, but it's looking at the behaviors and the way you react and the way you feel when you're believing something, and then comparing it to when you're not believing something. And I actually, in my experience, believe that not being afraid can put you in a more proactive position, because instead of spending that time being afraid of something happening, you can take steps to ensure you're in a better position if it ever does happen. You can, learn what foods are good for you, learn what supplements are good for you, practice your sleep, meditation, being social in a healthy way. You can connect with people without that fear. So it can put you in a better position. And of course, each thought is individual, but for this example, I would say I would rather be in a healthy state of mind, in a healthy body with a strong immune system if I ever did get sick. And yeah, I'll leave it at that because every thought is individual, but I'll just keep it for me and in this scenario and in this situation. So the turnarounds are for the thought, I'm going to get sick. The first turnaround I found was I'm going to get healthy, which is very empowering to me. It feels very true when I'm focusing more on my health instead of a fear of sickness. Opportunities just come up for me to be healthier. How can I, like I mentioned, work on my sleep? How can I work on my diet? How can I work on my social life? How can I work on my mental state, my psychological state, my emotional state? This is such a brilliant time where we can learn and focus on healthy behaviors instead of illness. And, it's a personal belief of mine that I would rather be focusing on what healthy behaviors I can implement in my life and practice, because I've noticed when I've been afraid of short or long-term illness, that stress can cause me to have those behaviors, like you noticed in how you react, to have those behaviors that leave me more susceptible. So focusing on healthy things that I can do is actually really empowering and really encouraging for uncertain times, which, any time can be an uncertain time. So I'm going to get healthy. Another reason I'm going to get healthy is because people are more conscious of this stuff now. People are understanding, germ theory and distance and how things spread, and just working on being more mindful of the way we interact and how we can be healthier and washing our hands and taking care of ourselves. And also, as we understand illnesses better and we focus on health, I really believe you find more, at least I have found more solutions for that in my own life. So it's a really beautiful time for that turnaround. I'm going to get healthy. Let's see if I can find one more, because I like to find 3. So how am I going to get healthy? Oh, my mind. Just working on the thoughts, the stress. Stress can just age us quicker, can exhaust us. You see those behaviors you have. Just not having that stress makes my mind healthier. So the next turnaround from going to get sick is I'm not going to get sick. And that's equally as possible. When you are thinking in the future, you're basically acting like a psychic or a fortune teller or something that is out there. You don't know, but you sometimes can experience these things like they're really happening when you believe them. So I'm not going to get sick, especially because look at what I'm looking at my thoughts now, and I'm learning healthy behaviors. And from a calm place, I can absorb and learn and implement more in my life. So my immune system can improve with those healthy behaviors, and it's possible I don't get sick. It's possible I live like this, don't change a single thing, and still don't get sick. Certain things aren't understood with how people get sick. So it is possible that I make no changes and I live this way and I don't get sick. It's possible that I live in complete anxiety and don't get sick, but how do I want to live? Healthy mind, or stressed out, worrying about something coming that might not come? I can prepare myself, certainly, and if I never get sick, what a gift. If I do get sick, I can deal with that, but I might not get sick. So entertaining that idea is a way to loosen the hold of the thought that is causing you stress. So another turnaround for I'm going to get sick is my thoughts about sickness. So this is kind of a tip when you're doing something on yourself, to turn it around to the thoughts. So the thoughts about my sickness are going to get me. So that's swapped turnaround. But the thoughts about my sickness are going to get me, which they were. If you're believing this, that stress, that will get you. You can really suffer with a belief and be perfectly healthy in your body. It is really powerful. Our mind is really powerful. The way that we experience the world is really powerful through what we're believing. And that can get you. That certainly can get me. And the thoughts are sometimes as bad or worse than the actual experience. For me, an experience can be over in a second, but my thoughts about experience can carry on. So those thoughts are going to get me. Or another way you can turn around the thought I'm going to get sick is my thoughts are going to get sick. And that's similar to that last turnaround, but just when my thoughts are believing this and they're in this belief cycle, it doesn't feel healthy. It feels like I'm going and doing behaviors that can make me sick. So the thoughts being healthy are, one of the biggest things that I can do if I want to change my life, if I want to focus on good things in my life, if I want to build good things in my life, starting with the mind is so foundational for me. So that was me working through a worksheet on I'm going to get sick. If you guys related to this, liked it, have gone through anything similar, please drop a comment down below. It really helps my channel. Please like this video, subscribe if you want to see more content, and always feel free to send me a comment or a private direct message on my Instagram at Kristen. And if you're interested in me facilitating you in the work, shoot me a message on Instagram at Kristen and we can set something up. Or I can give you more information, whatever you want to do. It's a great place to connect with me. And I will see you guys soon. Thank you so much for watching.